Hey y'all, it's ready for day 7. Let's look it up and see what I've got in my little advent calendar. Day 7. Okay, I've got more cut files, which I'm really excited about the cut files, and some pom-poms in a variety of colors, and a prompt. So this got a snowman that says Frosty. Oh, fill out. And then we have a penguin. So that should be fun to play with. So let's get started with day 7. I have these 4 Christmas wish lists, which are for my older 3 kids and myself, mostly because my husband refuses to do it, which is completely fine. That's just not his thing, and I respect that. And my twins are really not verbal enough to tell me things that they like or that they would like to get. So I am just going to modify this really little bag that I got with my advent calendar, and I was super excited to play with it. So I'm turning it into a pocket for these Christmas wish lists, and I've cut it down so that the Christmas wish list part sticks out at the top so you can kind of see what's in there, and then just pull out the 4 cards to actually read them. Now I wanted to use a cut file to create a shaker pocket on the front of this, and I really wanted to use the snowman to the left side of the pocket, but because of where this lands in my album, it's going to be on the inside where the binder rings are, and I was concerned that that was going to create too much bulk right there at the spine, and I don't want to do that. I want to have all of the bulky things as much as possible on the outside because there's more give on the cover on the outside than at the spine. Now these printables are just something that I found online. I think I might be able to link them below for my Christmas wish list for you. And they were completely free, and I just thought they were really cute. It has a bunch of questions like your favorite movie, your favorite color on one side, and then room for their true wish list of what they would like item-wise on the right. And I thought that was a cool little juxtaposition, a little in review of their where they're at right now. And I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to include in the album. So I have taken this cut file and backed it onto some acetate. And no, it's not acetate, it's page protector. That's right. I forgot I did that. I didn't have any acetate, any clear acetate at the moment, and I had a page protector that I don't like. There are some, I've gotten very picky about the page protectors that I buy now. I prefer the nice thick ones that have a little bit of give to them. They're not so tight that you have to really be careful how much bulk you use, because I create bulky layouts. I just do. And this one, not so much. It's just an older one. I don't even know what brand. It's just an older page protector I didn't want, so I cut it up. It's getting used though, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to bring in some of the snowflake sequins, just the gold ones, from the Felicity Jane kit, and I'm using some pop dots to place them onto the back of the cut file. That way they don't move. And I'm doing the same with some of the red sequins as well, because what is going to move is one of my favorite things to use in scrapbooking. Glitter! There will be glitter! And I was super excited to use glitter, so I was hurrying up through this part because I do want, when you're looking at the album, I don't want it all to fall to the bottom. And with a small album, you're very likely to be looking at it upright as opposed to laying it flat. And so all of that stuff goes down to the bottom, and I don't want it to do that. I want some of it to stay near the top, so that's why I'm gluing those pieces down. Now I'm cutting up some foam squares and creating a little border around the outside so that my glitter will not escape and will stay inside the shaker. And also creates a little bit of dimension because my sequins do have a little bit of dimension to them, and I was concerned that if I didn't have enough depth here that it was not going to lay flat against the backing paper that I chose and the glitter would escape. Didn't want that to happen
where as much as I love glitter, I don't really want it all over my craft space right now. So we're just gonna keep it contained. So I'm using this really pretty sparkly wow glitter that I actually picked up at Tuesday morning that had a huge pack of gold and silver and white. And I thought, perfect, December Daily, hello, perfect. So I went ahead and got the whole pack, and now we're using the white one. Now, I probably should have used more glitter in retrospect, but I wanted the glitter to be kind of background. I didn't want it to be the forefront in the shaker. I wanted you to see the gold and the red sequins as well. So I did add some glossy accents in little spots throughout the snowman, and the reason for that is so that not all of that white glitter will fall down to the bottom. Some of it will stay near the top in little globs, yes, but at least you will get to see some of the glitter and it won't just all fall to the bottom. So now I'm taking this piece of Felicity Jane paper, which has sparkly snowflakes on the other side, and I thought that would be a perfect backing. It's white with some black snowflakes, and I thought that would be a really cool backing for this little cut file. And I'll just cut around it and it will be done. As you can see, I was really excited about this because I keep shaking it. It was such a fun little shaker pocket, and I need to do this more with smaller cut files. I need to cut smaller cut files and make more of these little shaker pockets because they're so cute and they're so much fun, especially when you add them onto cards or in mini albums. They just add a really cool interactive element that I love. I love it. So this is more or less how this pocket is going to look. I've added a gold doily and my shaker pocket, and then I'm going to add a few small ephemera pieces and it will be done. And day 7 will be complete. But one more thing. I did think to myself, you know, this shaker pocket is really cool, but it is also very flat. And I kind of want to add something a little bit more interesting to it. So I grabbed my white Nuvo Drops, and I'm just putting little dots all the way around the outside to give it a little bit of an outline, to give it a little bit of detail that it didn't already have. Those sequins weren't popping as much as I was hoping, and so I did want to add a little bit more detail to that. Grabbing some of my ephemera pieces and this little star, which is an acrylic piece, and then I'm going to add in the number 7. Now, this pocket, as you can tell, does not have room for punching holes in it. If I was to punch holes in it just as is, I would either A, have to punch holes through my Christmas wish lists and through our writing, which I do not want to do, or B, I would have to add it to something else and punch holes in that, some sort of insert or something to have the holes on one side. So this is what I decided to do. This is a piece of packaging from some Target stickers, I believe. And I did this last year actually with the same exact packaging and used it to create a little insert. Now I'm trying to keep in mind that I have to put something on the back of the insert, so I did make it a little bit taller than my actual pocket. And I wanted to make sure that it was tall enough to add at least a photo to it if I wanted to. And then I put down all my tape and added onto my pocket. Not remembering though that the pocket is quite a bit shorter than the insert. So I'm going to have to pull out my Christmas wish list. I'm going to have to deal with the tape that is sticking out of the top of the pocket. So I've decided to grab some of this beautiful star trim and add that along the top just to cover up the adhesive. And you're not going to see it when those wish lists are in place, but when you pull them out, it's a nice little hidden detail that I think is a kind of cool discovery. You know, I love that about this album and all of my mini albums, is that there's a lot of things to discover, and you may not find everything the first time you look through it. So that's something to keep in mind if you're looking through mini albums, is there could be some secret sneaky peekies in there too. Adding the last little star that was hanging off the side over on top of the snowman, and this is just about done. I just have to add the holes along that left side and my number 7. This is so super cute. It's a lot more colorful than the rest of the things in my album. I did notice that. There's much bolder colors happening here than I have had so far, and I'm kind of excited that I've brought in such a variety of things to my album, that it's not just Christmassy, it's also very winter themed. And that's definitely intentional because not everything that we do in December is Christmas related. A lot of it isn't, actually. But I put it in here anyway because it's December Daily and I'm still telling the stories even if they're not actually Christmas stories. Now this little number 7 tag came from My Mind's Eye Market Street. I still have a bunch of these from their little Advent ephemera pack. And so I am using some of them to kind of change up my numbers every day, and I'm adding that to the front as well. But that's it. It's done, and I love it. It came out so super cute. So let's see what we're going to do for the backside, day 8.
And let's open up day 8. See what kind of goodies are inside. Okay, we've got this prompt. We've got, this looks like some stickers, some little stickers, a large die cut, and some really cute little wood veneer stars. So let's see if I can incorporate that into my day 8.
Okay, for day 8, we're still flipping over day 7 and working on the back of this insert. I've grabbed this red paper from Pink Fresh Studios Holiday Vibes, which is half of my December Daily kit, and I'm going to use it just to cover up most of the back of this cardboard-ish insert. It's kind of really thick paper more than it is cardboard. But this packaging has a little bit of tape on the back and a little bit of distressing from being shipped to the store and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and cover up some of that and create a really nice bold background for this little black pocket. Now I've had this pocket for a while. I think it came in some sort of kit or something. I'm not exactly sure. It just appeared in my craft space. And it says yummy. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I don't often scrapbook food. As a matter of fact, the closest thing I come to scrapbooking food-wise is birthday cake. So that's about it. I do mostly event scrapbooking or scrapbooking of my kids, not so much of food. And so this yummy pocket hasn't really made it onto any of my layouts and probably won't. So go ahead and use it now because my girls had made gingerbread houses out of graham crackers, which can I just stop and say, graham crackers as a gingerbread house frame is brilliant, okay? For 5-year-olds, that's brilliant. I think that's fantastic. Great idea, teacher. I'm sure she found it on Pinterest, but great idea. I love it. And so they brought them home. They've done an excellent job decorating them, and I let them eat them. They were just tiny little houses, and I thought, you know what? They are so proud of them, and they love them. I'm going to let them eat them. So they came home from school. They got to eat their dessert. And I'm adding a couple of these stickers from the Advent calendar. That way I am using some things from my day 8 calendar pocket, as well as a couple of those wood veneer, just to create a couple little clusters of embellishment around this pocket. I don't want to go too heavy. I don't want to add a lot to this because honestly, it's not necessary. It's just a very small insert. It's roughly, I want to say 5 by maybe 6 inches tall. It's very small, so it's not really big enough to be adding a ton of embellishment to. I have this pocket card in 4x6-ish size that was exclusive from the Advent calendar as well. And I'm going to cut up some pattern paper to make tags to slip into the pocket that will hold my photos. I also want to add this journaling card that I've written across both sides of the card and add half of it to each of the tags. So when you pull the tags out, it's a bit of a puzzle putting them together to read the entire story. I just think things like that are just how you make your December Daily a little bit more fun little bit more interesting. And for me, I know my kids are going to look at this like now. So I want to make it engaging for them now, as well as in the future. But really now is more important when you have small children. And I'm using this other tag from Felicity Jane as a guide just because I'm going to have these tags at different levels. One is slightly taller than the other. That's intentional. It creates a little bit of a layered look in the pocket, which is a little bit more interesting. But I want to make sure that my cuts on the sides there are the same because they're layered on top of each other. It's going to be really noticeable if they're not. So that's why I used the tag as a guide this time. I do sometimes, not all the time. So adding my photo in place. Now this photo is printed on my Canon Selphy, so it does not show fingerprints, but occasionally, once in a while, it has a minor flaw. This is the case with this particular photo. This one of Sophia had a little weird colored line on it, kind of a rainbow colored line out of random, and it's at the bottom left of the photo. I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen, but in person it was very obvious. And so I know I'm going to add a little bit of decoration to the bottom of this tag just to cover that up. Otherwise, I honestly would not have decorated these at all because they're going to be slid in and out of that pocket. I don't really want to add a lot of things that are going to catch on the outside of the pocket when they're being slid in and out. So I'm just going to add a couple of word strips to the bottom of this tag as well as a small tiny piece of ephemera, and that's it. It's just going to be a little something to cover up that area that was a little bit messed up, but not so messed up that I was willing to reprint it. I am very careful with my Canon Selphy paper. It's not that it's crazy expensive, but it's definitely more expensive than when I get a good deal at CVS and print there, or online and print there. I can get my pictures as low as 10 cents or less a piece, and the Selphy paper, it's about 35 cents a piece for each photo. And so I am a little bit more careful with those, and I try not to waste my paper. I try to get the right print the first time. Now, if it comes out bad, I will reprint it, but I'd rather not. Using a little bit of glossy accents to add on those wood veneer and the little trim gold star. And I love glossy accents for projects like this because it is like cement when it dries, okay? Anything that you would hear down with glossy accents is not likely to be going anywhere. And so for projects like this where I'm using things on the outside of pockets, it's essential for me. I love it. And I'm going to put these together. I did line them up to make sure that it would be easy to figure out the message, easy to put the puzzle together. And as you can see, it reads straight across, and I was really excited about that. And I do have a little bit of a branding strip situation at the bottom, so I am going to cover that up, but I went through all of my trims and then went, nope, I want lace. And this is my favorite lace ribbon. It just comes from Hobby Lobby. It's nothing special. It's super cheap, and I love it. And it's not going to completely cover up that branding strip, but it's going to mute it enough that you can't read it. So in essence, it's gone. In my mind, it's gone. And I am going to put a little bit of ribbon in the top as well. Now this ribbon, normally if this was going on a layout, I would just put a couple of pop dots behind the ribbon to keep it attached to the tag. But because this is going to be something that's pulled in and out, I don't trust pop dots that much. So I am going to go ahead and staple it, make sure it's attached to my tag and doesn't go wandering off, and then it's handled over and over again. And these two are almost done. So the tags are done. I'm going to go ahead and pop them back into the pocket, and then we're just going to add our number 8 and we will be completed. I did decide to grab the wood veneer 8s from last year's Felicity Jane kit. I did buy another pack of these, and in retrospect probably should have put that number at the bottom right, but at the time it seemed like fun to put it at the top left for something a little bit different, because I do have a tendency to put the numbers at the bottom. So for this one, it's done, and I think this came out really cute. Stay tuned for some still photos at the end, and thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye!